It's the halfway point of the Presidential Cycling Tour of Turkey, the 61st edition of this beautiful stage race up and down the Aegean coast of Turkey. And for the riders, welcome relief after the difficulties of the climbing challenges on stage 3. This one billed as one for the sprinters, albeit one or two little lumps and bumps along the way as the riders make their way out of the beautiful seaside resort of Marmaris, heading into the countryside. Just one classified climb along the way on a relatively short 130-kilometer bike ride, making their way to the ancient city of Fethiye. Treasures of Turkey intermediate sprint classification, also sprint for bonus seconds along the way. That one climb that will also distribute points towards the King of the Mountains competition. Challenging hill, but coming as it does, summited over 30 kilometers from the finish line. Ought to be within the remit of at least some of the big name sprinters to make it back into the main field in time for a thrash down on the seafront into Fethiye. Just over 130 kilometers in front of the riders on stage 4 of the Presidential Cycling Tour of Turkey, as the riders assembled at the beautiful seaside port of Marmaris, sitting where the Aegean Sea and the Mediterranean Sea meet. Known as Fiskos in ancient times, an important port city for the Carian civilization, and famous for yachts and a bit of bike racing as well. Ivan Sosa resplendent in the turquoise leader's jersey. Michal Pomorski in the Treasures of Turkey sprint classification jersey, looking forward to another opportunity maybe to try and get into the break for the man in the green points jersey, Tom Krabbe, looking to add to his total of 2 stage victories already this week. And Krabbe would face the fastest sprinters in the world. Sebastian Berwick will look after that King of the Mountains jersey on behalf of the overall race leader, Ivan Sosa, who's leading the climbers classification. And the great and the good assembled in front of a peloton of 155 riders. Just one non-starter on the day. The Colombian climber Juan Guillermo Martinez not going to be able to replicate his podium finish from 12 months ago. Came in 25 minutes down yesterday, and he not among those 155 riders getting set to race on this 4th stage of the Presidential Cycling Tour of Turkey. Ceremonies completed, and the utilized rollout of Marmaris. Flag in, the riders sent on their way. Immediate investment from the large peloton of riders, and indeed a brisk pace from the start. Elevation potentially offering an opportunity for some. Lots of riders from the continental level teams looking to get involved in an early attack, an early move out front. Konya and Mulya squads all involved. Treasures of Turkey sprint classification coming relatively early in the day, and great job done by Mustafa Taraksi for the 3rd day in succession, taking the Treasures of Turkey sprint, and with that taking over the lead of the competition for the man second across the line. He's been leading it since day 1, but now there's quite the battle joined. Michal Pomorski now 1 point down on Taraksi in that Treasures of Turkey competition. Eventually, a breakaway establishing itself out front. Beletta from the Team Polti Visip Malta squad, infiltrating a move that contains plenty of riders from the host nation. Team Konya represented up front by Mohamed Erkan. Also there for the Tartletto Isarek squad, Jonah Killy, American rider, 22 years of age, tapping out a solid rhythm. 2 riders for the Sportoto cycling team, the familiar figure of Ferikant Shamli, who was up front a couple of days ago, and now Mustafa Tekin involved as well, joining up with Samet Bulut, the Turkish national road race champion, Awet Aman as well for the Istanbul team. Clear of the field, led in the early stages by the team of the overall race leader, the peloton being led by the Cooper Kern Pharma squad on behalf of this man, Ivan Ramiro Sosa. And Ivan Ramiro Sosa, Imogen, looking pretty good in that blue jersey. Stunning performance on the climb on day 3.
Yeah, he was very dominant on the climb up to Kieran on day 3, and now we can see him taking it a bit easier in the peloton, just trying to conserve his energy before what's set up to be a sprint finish.
Extraordinary tombs etched into the mountainside, the Dalian rock tombs, world famous of course, dating to coming up on 6,000 years. Not much time to take in the sights and sounds for the Alpecin Premier Tech squad, clearly minded to produce an opportunity today. Twice second this week, once from Simon de Heers and then Sentiens stepping up for the Alpecin Premier Tech squad on day 3. Which sprinter will they be trying to propel to glory today? But no surprise really to see the sprinting teams taking it up in pursuit of the breakaway.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see Caio Rural just tucked in as well behind Alpecin Premier Tech along with Equipo Kern Pharma. So a few teams looking to bring it back for a sprint, and I think that Equipo Kern Pharma will be looking to set it up for Mark Bristenga.
Samet Bulut, proud moment for him in that jersey of the national road race champion of Turkey. A rider from the Muğla Büyükşehir squad, which of course is local here. It's local roads for them. 2 riders from the Sportoto team. They're always thereabouts, like to get involved in anything possible. Ferkan Shamli joined on this occasion by the man wearing number 204 on his right hand side. That's Mustafa Tekin. Taking in the sights is something that you would be well advised to do. So many different layers of culture throughout the millennia. Plenty of extraordinary examples of Lycian architecture to be encountered not too far from the coast. Well, he's not going to be wearing that jersey tomorrow. He's on bottle duty now for the ATT squad. Michał Pomorski's had a busy week so far, up in the break on days 1 and 2, and the rider in that Treasures of Turkey jersey now within 1 point of the race lead, so still plenty more opportunities after this one. 4 more opportunities indeed to add to his points total. Trying to stay as cool, calm and collected as possible. And the Turkish flags much in evidence this week. I think practically every school that this race has gone past has had plenty of Turkish flags distributed to the kids to sort of as a gesture of solidarity for all of the home riders in this event.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of action from them in the breakaways, especially from Ferkan Shamli. This is his second time up in a breakaway, and he's looking strong, getting some nutrition, hydration from the car, and maybe some words of encouragement as well as they crest the top of this little climb.
Yeah, plenty of climbs to be dealt with across the day. I mean, definitely one for the sprinters, but a few little testing and demanding hills that could shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, and it remains to be seen how the teams ride those climbs. They could do it at a hard pace, they could just keep it at tempo. So that will really decide what happens for the sprinters on a day like today.
Yeah, difficult climb in prospect as they come to the intermediate sprint. Is there going to be a little bit of a shake-up? And absolutely, Ferkan Shamli fancies just scooping some bonus seconds. Not really a factor. Best placed rider in this group is the rider in yellow. Third from the back of the group here, but Awat Aman is over 8 minutes in arrears, so 3 bonus seconds taken there. More for bragging rights really among the local riders, and just to show the jersey and just show what you're capable of. So all smiles amongst the breakaway riders. Now they'll settle in to the job of trying to retain as much of their 2-minute advantage as they possibly can for as long as possible.
Yeah, absolutely, but the peloton is pulling behind, and I'm sure won't want this breakaway to stay away all day. They'll be looking to bring it back for a sprint. There's some teams that are really hungry for that, like Team Flanders Baloise with Tom Krabbe. They'll want to bring the breakaway back and just make sure that they can deliver him to perhaps a third win, a hat-trick here at the Tour of Turkey.
Yeah, just 20 years of age. What a powerhouse he is already. What a prospect he is for the future. And Tom Krabbe just getting on the blower, perhaps calling for more water. It's a hot day, 25 degrees Celsius. Not too much in the way of humidity or wind, but these riders certainly, it's beautiful weather conditions, but nonetheless, they need to be mindful of the need for hydration and nutrition and a long week of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be having to stay on top of all of that hydration, because any little percentage of dehydration can really affect the sprinting capabilities at the end, even losing your electrolytes. So they won't have time to take in these beautiful views that we're seeing on our cameras right now.
Yeah, popular marine destination indeed. It's a sort of centre of marine mercantile sales and the such like industry. Look at the Göcek Islands. Now onto this challenging, grippy little climb and the remainder of the breakaway. Well, it's disintegrated significantly, but Aman doesn't want to yield without taking potentially the mountain's points, and up and over this one. Quite the contest with Tekin. So will Tekin manage to just about overhaul? He does indeed. It was a nice little ambush there by Mustafa Tekin. At one stage it looked like Awet Aman had done enough to take the mountain's points, but it was for the Sportoda cycling team, Mustafa Tekin first across the climb, but the main peloton behind, just a handful of seconds behind, almost immediately absorbing the remaining riders from that breakaway, up and over, plunging towards the coastline again. It's a haul of points taken from Mustafa Tekin, but he's back in the fold.
Yeah, and there's a really challenging set of little digs coming up now. They're not really classified climbs in any capacity, but really ones that can sap the sprinter's legs. So it's a real effort going on here from Cofidis as they enter into that challenging section of the race. Yeah,
big push on from the Cofidis squad. Clearly they're trying to create something. Didn't work out quite as they might have hoped for on the climbs yesterday, but if at first you don't succeed, find a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a few different teams that will be coming into today with looking for a bit of revenge after having maybe not a successful day yesterday, and Cofidis is definitely one of them, with Sergio Samitier and Emmanuel Buchmann pulling on the front there for the team.
Peloton fracturing on that climb, but they've more or less put it back together again. Inside 30 to go, and the next little ramp beckoning. And just indeed, as those riders are coming back on from behind, one or two sprinters almost inevitably in that group that were detached on that long classified climb, just trying to make their way in, including, as you can see, third in line there, Tom Krabbe in that green jersey. He's coming back on, but that has been it's a tough old chase for the young sprinter.
Yeah, and it would have been really difficult for him to get back on his own, which is why he's lucky he's got some teammates there who can pull that in for him, pull that gap in for him, and he'll have lost a bit of his top power just with that effort. So it'll be, yeah, it remains to be seen how he can actually tackle that finishing sprint. But as you can see here, with the help of his teammates, he is getting back to the peloton.
Yeah, problem solved in fine fashion by the Team Flanders Baloise squad. Tom Krabbe will be relieved about that. Indeed, Senta Senchins is there as well. They were first and second across the line 2 days ago. They'd like to try and repeat that. Senchins would like to reverse the order, but at least be in the top two at the end of the day. He's back in the fold, but still the Cofidis squad continued to pile on the coal. Emmanuel Buchmann on the front has not been found wanting in recent kilometres.
Yeah, and it's almost that they're pulling full gas just as Tom Krabbe has made it back into the peloton, so it's a bit of a relentless pace, and they're about to start another climb now. So I'm sure that any sprinters who have made it back into this group are grimacing when they see what the Cofidis duo are doing at the front.
Monique as well. Samitier has done loads of great work, lots of contributions from various Cofidis riders, but they're not preventing the attacks coming. And is this Munton that's the latest to try his luck? Well, certainly the Modern Adventure Pro cycling team have taken their cue, the tiniest hint of a stall, and that offers an opportunity, and Team Polti Visit Malta as well, also trying to take the lead of the rest of the peloton. Total Energy, Alpecin, Premier Tech, all alive to the danger.
Yeah, and this will have really split up the group and sapped some of the sprinters' legs who are trying to just sit in behind in the peloton and conserve as much energy for that final sprint. You can see it's completely strung out on a line, and it was quite a steep finish to that climb as well.
Carroll, Team Picnic Post NL, all mindful and all aware of the danger. A little bit of a split at the front of the peloton here. Is this group, does it have legs? Is there going to be enough firepower in there, enough willing firepower? Quite the fracture, but on this descent, main peloton behind needs to get going, because this is a sizable group, albeit just 19 kilometers from the line. Another little bump or two along the way that could offer potential for this group.
Yeah, exactly. After this downhill, you're going right into another little kicker, which is not going to give anybody time to recover in that peloton behind after that full gas effort on that previous climb.
Well, the peloton large in number over the top of that that little gripper, and that one looks to me, we're not seeing much in the way of contribution to the modern adventure pro cycling needs. Are we going to see riders start to ride through? The peloton not quite on just yet, and one or two just trying to clip across. Almost impossible to stay on top of the pedals, I think, on this descent. It's an extremely fast piece of road. As you can see, it's freewheel territory for the riders. It's about sitting in the slipstream and not letting that wheel go in front of you.
Yeah, they're tucking in as air as possible, trying to take as much advantage and recovery as they can out of this descent. And it looks like the Modern Adventure Pro Cycling teammate behind in this group is doing that pretty well as well. He's just hydrating, tucking in.
Well, that one's solved as we take it down towards the finish line. All of those climbs behind them, and all of the main big name sprinters still involved here. Pomorski takes it up on the front of the peloton. So they approach the 3 kilometers to go point, which is a major objective for the general classification contenders. Through and safely through this one, they'll get the time of the group they're in should they encounter any mishap between now and the finish line. They'll leave it up to the sprinters from now as the Astana squad move up on the right hand side. Number 2 is Davide Ballerini, 7th across the line in this equivalent stage. Fully 9 years ago, the last time we had a sprint finish into Fethiye. It's Pomorski on the front in that white jersey, who's trying to organise something today for his sprinter Dominic Neumann.
Yeah, and here they've just taken a right-hand turn, and they're going to turn again left here soon. And teams are getting set up and finding each other just within this last 2.5k, trying to set up for a perfect sprint.
2.5 kilometers to go. That bunch is large in size. Not too many have been detached in a permanent state today. And Michał Pomorski driving along in the front as Team Polti Visit Malta wait their cue to try and get something organised for Giovanni Lunardi. TT Investment squad of a couple of riders in the top couple of positions. Meanwhile, the big name sprinters, likes of Tom Krabbe and others, wait, lurking in the wheels, waiting for their time to shine. Here come the those colours, the white jerseys with the yellow flash and the blue piping and striping as well from the Team Flanders Balwas team. They have that green jersey sitting at about 25th on the right hand side of your picture at the moment, trying to stay out of the wind as much as he possibly can. On the left hand side, it's the Caja Rural squad, a couple of riders in front of Fernando Gaviria. Well, it's the orange colours of the Euskaltel Euskadi team. They have Hennekan, a French sprinter for them. Today, is he nicely positioned? Well, this is going to be the late show. 1,600 metres remaining on the cobble lock, heading towards Fethiye.
Yeah, and you can see there the World Tour teams of Alpecin Premier Tech and Picnic Post NL trying to set up for their sprinters. I think Alpecin Premier Tech are going to try and go for Sente Sentjens and Casper Van Uden for Picnic Post, and they're really finding each other, and the pace is really picking up here. You can see teams forming really good groups within the peloton.
Bardiani move up on the right hand side as well. Those sky blue colours, familiar, not that different really from the Astana team that are thereabouts with them as well. Bardiani have Luca Colnaghi, 7th on day 2. It's Ballerini for the Astana team. Meanwhile, Caja Rural, 2 on the front, and Gaviria sitting further back in the line. The Equipo Kern Pharma squad as we go under the Kite and head into the final 1,000 metres. The MBH squad also want to try and get involved here. They've got Davide Persico, lots of Italian sprinters hereabouts. Krabbe is also just bottom of your screen, jostling left and right. Lots of riders to overhaul between now and the finish line at this point. It's a late run for glory potentially for the Total Energy squad, with Dubé trying to set something up for Jason Tesson. Well, where have they got, and where is their sprinter going to come from here? Launch from long range at this point. Team Flanders Baloise have a rider second in line. Still, we've got Krabbe at the bottom of our shot in that green jersey. Just going to try and take a launch up through the line from Alpecin Premier Tech. Well, inside 400 metres to go. It's going to be a typical and familiar long-range reach out for Fernando Gaviria, the Caja Rural man, trying to surprise everyone. It's not going to quite work out on this case. It's going to be ambushed as it's a wonderful surge to the line. Persico, is he going to get there in time, or is it going to be? No, it's Anielkowski that gets up for glory for the Team Cofidis squad. Stanislav Anielkowski from Cofidis, after wonderful teamwork through the day, has emerged through the crowd at the death to take an extraordinary success. A wonderful victory for Team Cofidis, and from Stanislav Anielkowski is up to congratulate him on that one. Was sent ascensions quickly up to say that was a perfect job done by the Cofidis squad and by Stanislav Anielkowski.
Yeah, absolutely. They were working together really as a team towards that for the last 20 or 30k, and fully selfless efforts from his teammates to set that win up. And what a sprint it was.
What a sprint it was indeed. At this moment, you wonder how he's going to find and thread a way through. Riley Pickrell producing a great sprint as well for the Modern Adventure Pro cycling team, but Anielkowski has enough meters in hand when he finds a way through to produce that sprint. And a powerhouse sprint indeed it was. Persico just about hanging on for a podium finish, just starting his sprint a fraction too early. Krabbe and some of the others pretty much out of it.
Yeah, that will be a disappointment for the Flanders Baloise team and the Alpecin Premier Tech team, who they were coming into this with, I think, unfinished business after the first couple of sprint stages for Alpecin Premier Tech.
Well, there's confirmation of the finishing order at the conclusion of stage 4, with Stanislav Anielkowski getting up for victory for the Team Cofidis squad. Riley Pickrell, Davide Persico, Peñalver, Brustenga, all with a story to tell, Ballerini Ascensions and the rest. But it's Anielkowski that's celebrating his first victory in 2.5 years. No doubt absolutely thrilled with the Cofidis team.
Yeah, I really wait for this so long. All the time, somewhere top 10, top 5, but never won. So I would like to say big thank you for my team. They did today a really amazing job to make the race a little bit harder. For me, it was better because I climbing a bit better than the other guys. And yeah, today I just finished the job of my teammates. I'm really proud of them, what they did today for me. And also I would like to say big thank you for the team, that they trust in me all the time. And I also never give up, and today, finally.
You also never give up when you were almost boxed in on the left.
Yes, I was almost boxed in. I think 1K to go. I say again, again, probably I cannot sprint, but luckily this time I find the good way, and I could finish.
Is it like a reset in your career?
I hope so. I hope so, that this gives me more confidence for the next sprints, and finally I could unblock myself.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
String of top 10s in his career, but a first victory since his brace of successes in the Tour of Hellas on the other side of the Aegean back in 2023. He gets the wonderful, beautiful prizes donated here by the local finishing committee in Fethiye.
The local Dastar scarf, which all of the riders were given as well, local to Fethiye.
Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing as well is that the overall race leadership of Ivan Ramirez Sosa is preserved. He's got that 13-second advantage over Sebastian Berwick, and another turquoise jersey to wear for the Colombian rider as he heads into tomorrow's 5th stage. Looking forward to the stage 6 summit finish but this little banana skin has been dealt with. And it's Evian Ramirez Sosa that leads heading into stage 5.
Other jerseys, please, to the
You what?
Slightly butchered my out.
Oh no, you didn't. I was just